Hey Torchlighters, today I'm going to be telling you about the Prismatic Bolt Embermage. This mage has a very big range, can pretty much wipe out things all across the map. It's just very squishy. So you pretty much want to kite as much as you can and just spam that spell. Run and spam, run and spam. Because if you get hit, you're dead. But I mean, there's a lot of things you can use to keep the enemy away from you at a distance, using your pet. There's another spell I'll tell you about, or ability. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it and get to the tidbit.ru, which shout out to this website because I go here to make all my builds and many of my ARPGs. Okay, right off the bat here, we're going to go with Prismatic Bolt. You're going to want to go ahead and respec at the very beginning and take your 1 point out of Magma Spear, put 1 point into Prismatic Bolt. So right off the bat, you get to roll with your main spell through the game. Frost Phase, I would usually just put 1 point in my movement spells, but in this case, this build is so strong, you pretty much just have to give points out, because the main points to this build are Prismatic Bolts, Lightning Brand, Ice Brand, and Fire Brand. After that, you're pretty much just kind of Ice Prison's definitely another top one, and probably definitely Death's Bounty for the HP and mana boost or whatever. But to explain, Prismatic Bolts does all of the elemental damage: poison, burn, shock, freeze. So there's not a poison brand, but I mean you can always get stabs, or well, you're not going to do a staff. You're going to do wand and shield. So maybe you can get some poison damage on the wand. But anyway, so Lightning Brand, Ice Brand, and Fire Brand, what that happens is when you use Prismatic Bolt, each of your 4 bolts is going to have a chance to proc one of these 3 skills. Now, the sad part about it is these skills can only proc, I think, I can't remember it on the forums or the guides that I see, it's like every 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds you're going to proc one of these. So some people might just think, why not just use Lightning Brand? It's actually more beneficial to use every brand because you're going to want to try to proc whatever you can every 5 seconds. And each brand only has a certain amount of percentage to proc. So it's easier to have all 3 brands, more chances the better. So then you'll have Death's Bounty, of course, over here for your mana and health checks. I still use, of course, potions and mana potions more than this spell, but it's good to have this just in case, I don't know, shit button. Kind of like Frost Phase, getting the hell out of there. Ice Prison is really unique because you can actually throw this down in doorways or something when you're trying to kite backwards, and the enemies really can't go by it. I mean, it says to trap an enemy, but you can really block them from the outside as well, and they can't go through it while you're just Prismatic bolting the crap out of it. Your bolts will go through it. Frostwave and Frozen Fate are going to be pretty much just to try and freeze out your opponent, slow them down, as well as Frost Phase and your movement spell that can actually freeze. Charge Mastery, it's not really needed, but I mean, you really have nothing better to put your points in at this point, so it's better just to have more mastery, charge mastery, and keep it going longer, without having to use your mana whenever you fill up your bar. But other than that, yeah, this build is really good. I personally think any engineer build is going to be better, like Spider Mines, which I've already done a video on. Cannon Engineer is definitely probably another good build that I would put above this build, but I mean, because Embermages are squishy and they don't have the Engineer's barrier ability. I mean, Ice Prison's pretty good, but it doesn't, protect you from like a one shot, kind of like that Engineer ability does. Other than that, it's really good build, and of course you're going to want to put all your points in focus. Everybody's playthrough is different though, so you might find different gear and think you might need something else. Of course, Vitality is useless. You would pretty much just be doing that for block chance. but there's really no skill down here to increase your block chance with it. So that's why I personally would just all in on focus. That way you can just do maximum elemental damage, get the most out of your mana to spam your prismatic bolts. And anything else just, up your dexterity or your vitality with gear. And keep 1 point in prismatic bolt. That way you're not using much mana because this will increase every time you put a point in it. So I recommend waiting until you can tier it every time, which, first would be like level 10 down there. At level 10, you don't necessarily have to do it because you might not have enough mana to actually sustain the ability, spamming the ability at level 10. Whereas, next tier would be level 40. So that's a pretty big leap. But yeah, that's Prismatic Bolt Embermage, and hope you guys try it out. It's a pretty fun build. It really wipes the floor. It's just, make sure that you do not get hit.